Hey everyone, Christina here, Ginger Mama. Okay, so we're gonna talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, okay? If you don't want to talk about that, scroll along. But the reason I say this is because Spirit was very clear with me this evening about a past connection, and it led me to some reflection on this. And all day I keep seeing the King and Queen of Wands reverse. So hold on. Let me explain real fast. So for starters, also, as I was mopping earlier, the two ornaments that fell off my tree when I bumped my tree were the lion and the white snow globe. And you might say, why is that significant, Christina? Well, I know I've had these ornaments for a long time. I had a partner who, after sex, we fell into meditation and we were sharing visions of a lion. And I said to them, when we came out of that, it was so beautiful, right, at the time, and all this is so great. I said, do you hold Leo placement in your astrology chart? They're like, I don't know, right? We looked this up, and sure enough, I believe they had a Leo moon and a Leo Venus. And so, like, clearly that was indicative of some things, and maybe I should have paid more attention because at that time, Mars was still in Leo, and I'm like, makes sense with the spicy energy and all this. It would have turned into 6 weeks later a very toxic connection. This person was physically abusive towards me, okay? And you have to understand that I've also experienced sexual intimacy with people that have then become so fixated, right? This is very common. It's one thing to be like, I've had sex. It's another thing to have sex with someone, or if you are someone that's tapped in, right? Because that leads to other things. I remember the first time it happened to me several years ago. That person, I felt like there was like light everywhere and like the whole room was spinning. It was just like this glowy thing. And it's really hard to not be attached to that energy. I understand, right? Why you are. Like, I know for me at that time, I was like drooling at the mouth, like, this has got to be my person, right? I've never had it like that, right? Like, what is this? Like, what is this, right? You are activating your Kundalini when you're meant to. This does not always mean the other person is fully healed or totally spiritually aligned, okay? But it does mean there's some type of activation that's ready to occur within you, okay? Now, when I went to go do this reading, my other deck flew out and it said 2 weeks. So some of you who are trying to clear some past energy where you're like, I forgive you, I'm not upset with you, but we're all here learning lessons. Can you please move along? Like, please move along. I feel like that energy is going to be clearing out within 2 weeks. If you know what I'm talking about, if you've experienced these types of dreams, visions, meditations, straight up energy, you feel like God was in the room. God's always in the room, but when God's really in the room, you know what I'm talking about, that honey pot, right? Whatever you want to say. It's beautiful. And yes, if you are in a close connection right now, work on that. You should be, before or after intimacy, definitely connecting with Source. Like, Source loves when you're hooking up for the right reasons, okay? Like, it's not a dig here, and it's beautiful what can come in. And yes, you can dream share or meditation share, things like that very easily if you both are aligned and open to receiving that with the divine. So my point in this post is to tell those of you that know that that connection was not for you for whatever reason. You are a sovereign being, you're aligned with spirit, you know that's not your path. That energy there, that person is still working on clearing, right? Now, or understanding higher enlightenment in that way and not obsessing, right? Because that, by the way, that same energy of meditative energy with sex can happen on your own, and it should be, right? Like, you should be in that state where you're able to pull up that Kundalini, able to understand intimacy in that way without necessarily pulling on one other person, right? And asking spirit, like, okay, like, is this safe in the energy? Is this okay, right? And so I know the moon's in Scorpio today, so we're getting a little, there, but pick me is reversed with karmic partner. I'm telling you, this is not the person for you, and you know that. And some of you might not know that yet. This might be new to you. Ask me to stay. Please come back. I need this back. I want this back. And so, home sweet home here with kind of witchy. You might feel like someone's all up in your energy. Be clear about that, right? Like, you need to be asking people, right? Like, if you're feeling someone in your energy, ask just like, is this cool? Like, do I have your consent or not? Like, I know that seems so awkward. I get it, collective. I really, really do. I feel like someone's crying right now, by the way. Whoever's crying right now, like, it's okay. I feel like someone's like, thank you for telling me I'm not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. It's just, that's why you're so attached to this, because it's kind of like the first time you had sex with someone in your waking life, either that was really great or it was really bad, right? And some of you have really bad experiences. I talked to a man once that said he had sex with a woman and he felt like during the act, like it was terrible, right? I've not had that happen during sex, but I've definitely had that happen energetically with people misaligned. And so be intentional right now with your sexual energy. I'm not saying no self-pleasure. I'm not saying do not connect to the divine and your own self here, right? But understanding how those energies are tied and calling back your energy and getting curious, right? God's showing you what's possible in small doses. And just because it was not this person doesn't mean you will not experience that again. And I know that was a very, very hard lesson for me to learn. I have a Scorpio moon, so it was like my immediate thing was like, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. I gotta have that, right? Like oh gosh. Like, and that's what people misunderstand about Scorpio moons, right? Like a lot of times, or any water sign moon, Pisces, Cancer, a lot of times, or heavy water energy, right? Like they're wanting that depth to the intimacy that they can't even articulate, but they just know is there. And that's what's there. And so I have home run here. Focus right now, your energy, if you're doing this on your own, to cultivating abundance, right? And clearing any energy that does not serve you in peace, right? We're not throwing shade. We're not trying to manipulate or control. We're not trying to pull anybody in, right? Like I don't want you to feel unsafe in that. But Spirit's asking you to really set those intentions right now, because the energy is fragile, is what I want to say, especially with this white like bulk. It's fragile. It's like a lot of people are learning this for the first time and everyone's feeling kind of like, I don't know, am I nuts? You're not. Okay, you're not. I still feel like someone is just sobbing, which by the way is very common on your own. When you start to connect in with spirit, with your own sexual energy, oftentimes it will result in tears. That could be because of your own trauma, past life trauma, the wrong people you were tied to, etc. Or just a realization here. Yeah, first touch and from dust. And then I can't do another star in the call. Like someone feels like someone's just jaded. Like, no, the first time I touched you it was magical and this and that. I've been on both sides, guys. And I think most of you will be at some point. You'll realize how it feels to feel like that was like the best thing ever. And then Spirit's going to pull it. And then you'll have someone that thinks that about you. And you're going to be like, no. Spirit's going to pull that. And so I'm not saying it's not going to happen at some point in both of you understanding. But right now, it's really, really important that you're connecting direct with spirit and you're also understanding the gravity of what you're experiencing. Most people do not know. A post like this, I don't share often. I share with client calls and things like that in private with my client sessions, but Spirit does not allow me often to do a post like this simply because we see that institutions, intuition, right? They want to control the narrative of energy such as this. So higher religious organizations want to control sexual energy and dictate how that goes, right? So do institutions. They want to logically address how you would be pleased or not pleased or all of these cycles without understanding that energy tied in with divinity and divinity within proper connection. And so I do not go down this I talk about sex on here, but I don't go this deep into it often on a public post, simply because, these institutions, these people try to take knowledge and then regurgitate it without actually experiencing it themselves and then profit off the backs of us who are spiritual and are aligned and are doing this with pure intention, right? You do not need a fancy degree in order to understand and feel that energy in its purity and in its authenticity. And if you are currently making love with a partner or having sex with a partner and you're not able to dream share ever or meditative share or feel that in your kundalini, that might be a call to reflect, okay? Because it's really beautiful. It's really powerful when you can do that. I love you. Bye.